Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Number 82 on the 49ers 2023 roster countdown is a fun player. Like, if you were to ask me what the Niners do better than almost any other team in the NFL, it's practice squad, undrafted free agent development, and building, very similar to what the Miami Heat are doing, in the NBA, building quality players that other teams didn't want or didn't see what they could be. And that brings us to number 82, Leroy Watson, who he's fun, man. This kid is personality-driven, strength, athleticism, but huge project. This guy played tight end, predominantly, almost exclusively, his college career. We'll get through that. But this was Spencer Burford's teammate at UTSA, the Fighting Roadrunners. He was the tight end that lined up next to him, for the last 3 years before, coming to the NFL. And it obviously wasn't drafted, undrafted free agent, wasn't even a priority free agent. We'll get into those things, but he's got a fun journey. And I'm telling you right now, this is a guy that the 49ers have a plan for. Now, is that a plan for 2023? I don't know. He came up with an accumulative score. We have all 5 of our executive producers rank 1 through 91, and you add up all those rankings. He finished with a 396 score. The lower, the better. Brandon Allen, who was, 83, had a 400 score, so he's right below that. He was not ranked last year because he was not in our roster series because he wasn't brought on until after the initial 53-man cuts and all those things. So we didn't do him. We didn't do a profile on him last year. Now, let's look at who he is and what he is. Jersey number 77 and 78. He wore 77 in college, and that's kind of his Twitter handle and all that stuff, which is Twitter's pretty fun. I spent some time scrolling around there to see what he's interested in. Jamie Foxx, J. Cole, LeBron James, and hyping up teammates. He's a dude that just, if people say positive things about his teammates, he's going to retweet that and put that out there, which is cool. That's what you need with these back-end guys. Now, he's 6'5", 311. Tried to play tight end, wanted to be the guy with the ball in his hands. He's got great hands. Even at his pro day at UTSA, he was out there running routes and snagging some good balls, but it's just not the way he's built. He's a big dude. 35-inch arms. Like, he is your prototypical left tackle build. He might have some of the longest arms not named Trent Williams on the 49ers' entire offensive line. Like, he has the prototypical zone left tackle build. And guess who he's been working out with? Yeah, none other than Trent Williams. Him and Spencer Burford, UTSA, it's close to Trent Williams' Houston gym location, things like that. So that makes sense. Now, he's 24 years old. He ran a 4.91 40-yard dash. He quick. 1.68 3-cone, that's fast. A 10-yard split, sorry. 1.68 10-yard split, that's quick. Vertical, 33.5. 7.4 3-cone. This guy, athleticism and traits. The only issue is he hasn't played left tackle or right tackle for that matter. I think the swing tackle role is kind of where he is. Athleticism check, strength check. He had 18 bench press reps, which wasn't, elite for sure. It's not bad. But he put a video out in May. I copied the video and I already recorded this once, but there's music in the background while they were working out, so YouTube took it down, so sorry about that. I'll retweet it on my Twitter feed at JL_chat if you want to check that out. But he put a video out in May of him repping 545 pounds deadlift, repping it with ease, and it looks super hard. He's got strength, he's got explosiveness, he's got arm length, he's got athleticism, but it's a project. He hasn't played that before. Now, his personality is freaking on par. He's a fun cat. And, again, can't put it out because there's video practice, but at UTSA, they did a mic'd-up practice with him, and I shared that on my Twitter as well. He's fun, man. He fits the 49ers locker room. I guarantee you him and George Kittle get along just fine because he hypes people up, very positive, brings so much energy. Now, he's going into his second season, undrafted free agent rookie, no doubt about it. He's from Georgia. And he played at Shiloh High School in Snellville, Georgia, which I lived in Snellville for a short amount of time and young Chapman growing up. The Generals, baby. But anyway, so he's from Georgia, and he bounced around. He went to Hutchinson, Kansas Community College. He spent 2 years there, was incredible before transferring to UTSA, the Roadrunners. And he got his degree in 2021, multidisciplinary studies. He got that degree done. Now, when he was in Hutchinson at the JUCO, he was a beast, man. Two-way standout, tight end, defensive end, played all over the place in high school, was great before transferring. Now, while he was at JC, man, he broke a bunch of records. And if you don't know anything about Hutchinson Community College, it's kind of one of the probably top 5 or 6 JUCO schools for developing football talent to transfer to bigger programs. I mean, he was awesome. He set school records for offense, yards per game. Like, he was a part of that as a tight end and just played really, really well. Now, whenever he goes to UTSA, he was their big tight end. He played 1,354 snaps in line, not split out. He was not a move tight end. You don't tell him that because he'll argue with you, because he's got a little wiggle to him, but he is an extra blocker that can catch. He had 24 career receptions on 43 targets, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns. But again, you're picturing big tight end. That's what he was. Now, if we look at his best PFF scores, he played 3 years. He was a super senior at UTSA. His best PFF scores from all 3 of his years, 64.2 on offense overall. Okay. 56.8 reception. He's not going to be asked to run routes. 55.5 drop rate. All right, not going to be asked to catch balls. 66.1 pass block, but the one that stood out to me most, 78.3 run blocking grade. That's a Shanahan guy. It's a Shanahan staple. Hyper athletic, good guy in space, loves to run block. And that's what he was. And that's what he is. Now, on his school player profile, and again, I got to say shout out to Josh, the 49ers guru, executive producer of this show, who did almost all this research, crushed it. Found that, 2 of his passions are cooking and playing the piano. Very well-rounded individual. Now, whenever he came into the NFL, the New England Patriots picked him up first. They signed him to their practice squad September 1st. I'm not sure what happened. Didn't last long. The Niners sniped him within the week. Got him over on our practice squad. Patriots said no. We brought him over, and he's been here since. Was on the practice squad all year last year. They kept him. They liked what they saw from him, so much so, in January 31st, they brought him back on another 1-year deal on a reserve futures contract. Now, is this a guy that's going to make the team this year? No. And there's a reason why we have him 82 on our 91-man roster countdown series. It's 91 because we got the international exemption with Alfredo Gutierrez, which we already did. He was on a previous episode. But this is a guy who is a project player. And you got to remember, every single person when they were going into the draft was saying Niners got to go online, got to go online, got to go online. They didn't draft one O-lineman, not one. They didn't touch one offensive lineman in the draft. Why? Because there's a lot of guys in-house that they have a lot of confidence in. Leroy Watson, I doubt plays a snap this year. I doubt he makes it to the active roster this year. The transition time that it is taking, it's still got a ways to go. But for the 49ers 2024 roster countdown, especially if Trent Williams finally decides to hang up the cleats, I hope he doesn't. I hope he comes back. But I'm telling you right now, this kid, Leroy Watson, is in the mix for a possibility to compete for a swing tackle role next year or a hyper-athletic left tackle. The Niners like what they got in him. I don't know what that looks like. Obviously, are they moving forward with the expectation he's going to be starting left tackle? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is it's an extra body that has been in the system, not one, but now going on year 2, that will know everything, has the physical traits, has the attitude. He was teammates with Spencer Burford for 3 years, who's our starting right guard. He's going to have a chance to compete probably next year. We'll see what happens. Injuries happen, whatever else. But if you look at the Niners offensive tackle room. You got Trent Williams, obviously, Colton McKivitz, obviously. Matt Pryor, I would put third. Jalen Moore, probably fourth. But if you're asking me who that fifth tackle is, who will not make the 53, but is there, Leroy Watson's name has to be in there. Maybe Nick Zakill, but they've been working him inside. They like this guy as a back-end practice squad scout team player that gives Bosa and Drake Jackson this look of a hyper-athletic lineman with long arms. I'm excited about him, but he is number 82. I don't see him making the roster at any point this year, but I'm telling you this. The Niners continue to invest in this kid and believe in this kid. I'm not betting against him. And again, when we do the reasons for the 2023 roster countdown, it's who helps the team the most this year only. We're not looking long-term. This is the 2023. Next year, I'm going to argue. Yeah, I've got it written in my notes, and hopefully I go back and check. He's 82 this year. I don't think he's going to be in the 80s or 70s next year. And it's a back-end guy, but I think that this is a guy who very possibly could be a 50s, 60s type guy next year. And that's a huge step up for a guy that was undrafted and who's just got a mountain to climb on that offensive tackle depth chart. But that's Leroy Watson. Fun kid, fun prospect. Excited to see him develop. For us, we'll just keep counting him down.